ahead and get started this morning. Thank you guys for joining us again this morning. We have a really great program that we have in store for you this morning. We have ADAC here, and we also have our wonderful leader, Dr. Oliphant. Dr. Oliphant was looking around like, who? We're glad to have her back with us from her Christmas break. So we're happy to have you back. This morning, if we could hold introductions, if there's new people here, because we do have the program this morning, and then Dr. O is wanting to do a few surveys with those who have not completed their partner survey. I do want to say, before we call up our ADAC friends, that we are having such an awesome time at the Spanish class on Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock. It is just off the chain. We have it used to be about 20, 30 folks. Emily and Mr. Rodriguez are teaching that class, and it is one of the best classes. I've been to school for Spanish and have not learned as much as I have in 3 classes with these ladies. So now I answer my phone, hola, and they're like, who is this? Oh, okay. But we want to thank Mr. Robert today too, because Robert brought ADAC to our attention in the regional needs assessment. So we would like to call, we got Ms. Ashley McKelvey.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Ms. Ashley McKelvey to come forth and give us some program.
Thank you. Well, before we got started here, I had the opportunity to walk around and get to know and meet some people. I also know some people that's from out in the community. I know some people that I graduated with their children. Not just that my age. I'm just young. But no, seriously. It's Thursday morning. I've had my coffee. If you had your coffee, raise your hand and say yay. Yay. If you haven't, say yay anyway, because sometimes you gotta say this till you make it. Okay? So this morning, I want to start by giving you some information about ADAC, the Prevention Resource Center, and who we are. But before I do that, I want to let you guys know what's sitting in front of you. So we'll eventually roll through this information that's all of it that's in front of you. But the big booklet is what we call our regional needs assessment. We also have a pamphlet about what the Prevention Resource Center is, and we're going to go into some detail. But as with most agencies, we wear several different hats in the community. But one of the things that I really want to pay special attention to is the OSAR pamphlet. And the OSAR is a great resource that we have in our community. And over at ADAC, we really do believe that chemical dependency is completely is treatable and is preventable, and when you have the right resources and education in place. So if you know someone in the community who could benefit from some of the services that are outlined in that pamphlet, we really want you guys to go over to the ADAC. And our office is located at 302 North Brigade. We're the little tan building that's right on the corner. You can come in, you can call, come and see us if you know anyone who needs some services. The other thing is, I want to let you guys know who's here from ADAC. So we have myself, I'm Ashley McKelvey, I'm the Community Liaison for the Prevention Resource Center. We have some of my family here. We work together so much that they're like family to me. So we have our Director of Operations, Mr. Chris Lufkin. Hello. And then we have my pretty much direct supervisor. I tell her all the time she makes me nervous. We have Kim Simmons, who is our prevention director. And then we have who I consider to be our mad mathematician. She's not great with science, but I don't give her a hard time. We have Pam Gilchrist. And jumping into it, let's see. You'll notice these little graphics. I think that make us all happy. But over at the Prevention Resource Center, we serve 15 different counties. So we have a 15 county catchment area. And today we're focusing on home. Because home, like we say, is where the heart is. Home is where we really want to put a lot of attention in. So we're talking about Angelina County today. And the biggest thing that we're focusing on today with the Prevention Resource Center is the data repository portion of it. All the information in front of you is a result of the work that's going on in the data repository section of the Prevention Resource Center. So our staff, we have Lufkin, we have myself, we have a tobacco specialist, Ms. Linda, and we have Kim Bartell. I know that he's been here before, I believe, but he's not here today. We have to split up and do a little work elsewhere. And then also we have Pam. So moving forward, when we're talking about home, and we're talking about what's important in Region 5, which is everything, the greatest thing is the community. The community, that's what makes this a home. So raise your hand if you're here and your job has everything to do with the betterment of the community. That's everyone this is about, right? You want to see this community grow. You want to see it thrive. You want to see this community continue getting greater, right? So the people that work in the communities, and we want to see the community thrive, they need information. You need to know what's going on in your community so you can know where to work. You need to know what's going on in the community because you need to know what doesn't work. So that's what the regional needs assessment is for. The regional needs assessment will move through certain portions of it, but the first thing we're going to do is focus on a region-wide. That's that whole 15-county catchment, and then we're going to come back to home. So we'll move through the region area fairly quickly, but if you have any questions, just let us know. Anything that I can't answer, my superiors and my co-worker, Ms. Pam, should be able to answer. And if we don't know, we promise to go get that information and bring it back to you. Okay? All right, so let's jump into this. What makes Region 5 unique? The first thing is, you'll notice that we have a pretty large, mature population. We have people who are here that have been here lifelong. We have people who are coming here due to the lakes and the recreation. I mean, you come to Lufkin and you're from Region 5, you want to be here. You come here for a reason, whether it's family or not. So we have a large, mature population. But something else is, we have a large concentration of Black Americans, but in the region, we do have a lower concentration of Hispanic or Latino Americans. And that's an interesting characteristic. It's something that when we're out and about in the community, that might be something that we don't notice. You know, so we need to make sure that we are noticing who's around us and who's here. Another thing that makes Region 5 unique is we're smart. Not only do we want to be able to talk to each other, but we want to be able to communicate. So we're very language proficient, and it's in part due to things that happen in great agencies like over here at Impact. We have those Spanish classes on Tuesdays. Over at Burley here in Lufkin, we have the dual language programs. So we're smart. We want to know. We want to talk to people. We want to be able to communicate. I loved how when I come in here, I was hearing people speaking English. I was hearing people speaking Spanish. I heard another language. I'm not sure what it was, but I heard it. I heard Spanglish. That's what it was. So, you know, we want to talk to each other because conversation really does rule the nation, right? So that's also interesting. Something else, when we're talking about growth in Region 5, you will see the percentages of growth here. You'll see San Augustine, Sabine, Houston, Orange, Polk. We have some, well, they're having a little bit of problems. They're losing people. But down here, even in Angelina County and Nacogdoches, Hardin, and Orange, we're gaining people. People want to come in here. People want to come in here. But one of the drawbacks is this. We're rural. And where you have so many people, we don't really have as many local entities available to provide the help. People have to travel. And an interesting fact is, we have about 30% of our population is at or below the poverty threshold. So if you don't have a lot of money, what else don't you have? You don't have a lot of transportation. So while we do have some resources, and we're very thankful for these resources, we need to start working in our community to figure out how we get people to these resources. Whether it's we go into the community and we put those resources there, or we start making things happen to where we can take people to the resources. So that's something that I really want you guys to take away from today. Let's start brainstorming within our different entities about how we can get these services to our citizens and our communities. So something else you'll know is in Region 5, we have a very large law enforcement population. They're out active in the community. I see someone back there. Hi, sir. Thank you for your service. But we're active in the community, and something that we focus a lot on over at ADAC is there's a lot of concern for the synthetic marijuana that's going around. We've had here recently in Livingston, there were 2 people who passed away due to some of the synthetic marijuana here recently. I mean, we're having counterfeit drugs, we're having designer drugs come in, and people aren't just trying this and eventually dying. Now it's getting to the point where they're trying and they're just dropping dead. You know, it's that serious. They're not getting hooked and their lives are going down. No, it's bad batches. So that's something else that we really need to pay a lot of attention to. And we're focused over at the Prevention Resource Center on providing information to our law enforcement agencies to help attack some of these issues that are going on in our community. Because like we said, we love our community. We want to do as much as we can. And so that includes partnering with our law enforcement agencies. So let's talk about home. As I said earlier, home is where the heart is. It's what we want to do a lot of focusing on today. So something that's interesting is per capita, the average income in Angelina County is very similar to the average income per capita of the region. Both are sitting at a little bit above 21,000. The other thing is we have, as well as the region, about 11%, a little bit above, receiving TANA. And when I say TANA, that's just one. We're talking about community resources, period. So that includes food stamps, that includes all of the above. And you know, when you take into consideration how many people are here, 11% doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it is. It's a lot. So, what are we doing to help the people that are in need? We talked earlier about how many people are in our community who are sitting at or below the poverty line. We have, thankfully, excellent organizations who come together and we form the Angelina Interagency Coalition. When I was here before, I saw some brochures out in the front lobby about the coalition. Some of our agencies that are here today help form the coalition, but this is just a little bit of it. We have, all of it is organized. If you know someone, and I like to take them with me so I can pass them out when I'm talking to someone. If I meet someone in need and they need a bed, they need clothes, they need shoes, I give them these things when I'm out in the community. So just for this little portion, we have a little bit on abuse, adoption and foster care, and alcohol and drug abuse. So something else I want to highlight about all these different entities, organizations, foundations is that not only are we out providing these services, but we're providing jobs as well. So the benefit of the community is twofold. Something else interesting in Angelina County is we do have a larger concentration compared to the region of Hispanics and Latinos. You know, I don't know about you guys, but this makes me happy. This really makes me happy because that means that we have more education, we have more resources, we have a greater diverse population. Hi, Mr. Joe. We have a greater population, a more well-rounded community here in Angelina County. And where there are more people, where there is more diversity, there's a greater collective mentality. When you come to Lufkin, you feel like you're at home, and that's why people want to stay. The other thing that makes Angelina County unique is, while we do have a larger concentration of Hispanic and Latinos, we have a greater percentage of people who have somewhat of a limited ability to completely communicate with proficient English, right? So how do we attack that? Again, we attack that by holding courses like that are here on Tuesday nights over here at Impact. We go out into the community and we let people know about the different resources that are there. If you want to learn English or you want to learn Spanish, because again, we need to be able to communicate. Something else that's interesting, we talked a little bit earlier about TANF recipients. Here in Angelina County, you'll notice that on average, our recipients receive about $20 more than what the average is throughout the other regions. So we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people in the nation who are receiving TANF, who are receiving other community resources, and you know, you can do the math. We're talking over $20 more per person. If we just went around the room and we counted $20 more, you know, per person alone, that's a small fortune. I don't know about you guys, but I would love to have an extra $20. So Something else that we also focus a lot on is alcohol-related adult arrests in Angelina County. On average, we have less. We have less. And that is something, as I was reviewing this in my superiors, they're like, really? That's interesting. It's good to know that our community is safe, but there's still some work to be done. The percentage isn't zero. And where the percentage isn't zero on something that's causing a danger to our society, that's the kind of thing we need to continue working on that. The good news is it's close to zero. Bad news is that it's not. So we have some gaps. We have gaps in service. If you're out in the community and you're working with the people in the community, then you know that you're gonna encounter some people who might need a service that's not available. When I worked at my previous job, I worked with someone who regularly could not pay their rent. Well, sometimes when you go out to these places, they don't need just the money to pay their rent. They need the resources to continue surviving after you give them that more resource. So we have some gaps, and we have a lot of work that needs to happen in the community. So again, just brainstorm on that as you're heading back to your office today and thinking about what you need. Again, I want to take this as an opportunity to say something else about ADAC. And that's this. I've never worked with a more dedicated group of individuals as far as alcohol, drug related, all of that prevention goes. I am constantly in amazement at how good our staff is, at how well trained we are. So we're growing. Our educational base is continuing to grow. So again, use this OSTAR pamphlet. Don't just keep it and throw it in your desk, Go out into the community, find someone who might need it, send it to your friend who might encounter someone that they know is struggling with addiction. Make sure you're using the information that we're receiving here. And with all of that being said, I wanted to wrap this up. And we're gonna talk about, again, we're gonna put it in the bow, what's going on with the regional needs assessment. We don't just compile this data because we wanna keep it. We compile this data. Do you have this right now? No, okay. We compile this data because it's easy for organizations to hire someone in Washington to tell you about what's going on at home. But the fact of the matter is you wouldn't go to Ralph and Coons and ask about what's going on at McDonald's, right? So we wanna come to the community and we wanna know what you guys are thinking. You're our lifeline. The people that are sitting in this room, you're our lifeline. So the information that you're receiving here is from a regional basis. We want to pass out some surveys at the next meeting to get your information and get your feedback about what you're seeing in the community so that we can include that in this coming RMA. So we're working on 2017. As soon as we get it, we're gonna roll it out, we're gonna share it. We want you guys to use this information. If there's something in there that you need to know that's not there, if there's a population that you think needs to be represented that's not included, let us know. We want to include everyone. It's necessary to do so. But the RMA takes a regional approach. We're working to fill the data gaps. We want to lift the communities through the region, address the risk factors, emphasize prevention, and reduce. In doing so, we want to reduce the potential consequences of suffering. So I just want to open the floor for any kind of questions that anyone might have. Any questions? That means I did fairly well.
Can you repeat what was the percentage of people underneath the federal poverty threshold?
It's about 30%. Is that correct?
I don't have it with me, so I wouldn't wanna.
It's about 30% from the last time that I read. But what I do want to do is get back with you about where we got that resource from.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put your information in there. Yes, ma'am?
So I'm trying to figure out, what is your connection? Is the Prevention Resource Center, is it a separate entity than ADAC?
We work under, it's a branch of ADAC. We are ADAC and we're not, ADAC is the umbrella and we're underneath that.
So are you a program or are you your own separate entity?
We're a program of ADAC.
Okay, program, okay. So there are other, because you have a region, so are there others like you around the state?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
There are 11. So each region has their own prevention resource center. We're just covering region 5.
Could you send, because I'd like to see how the counties
Yes, ma'am.
work with the foundations counties. I mean, every county up there was in our county, but the northern part, I'm interested in seeing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
There's a list in this
Oh, okay.
of, all the regions and all the counties, let me just see if I can, it's at the very end on yours. Page 48. So it just
Oh, I
gives
see,
you
okay.
a region number.
Yeah.
It isn't a map, but we can get you a map if that's what you need.
Yes, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
What type of outreach program do you have for the chronically homeless population, like in Angelina County? And I'm sure other counties have a population like that.
Well, I'm not quite sure if I'd be the best person to answer that question. I want to defer to Chris, you think?
One of the things we do, we try to reach out to Dr. Elementary and let them know about our services.
That's probably not necessarily, I'm talking about, because some of those homeless people will not go to Godtail, some of these other places. I'm talking about the ones who are living on creeks and around town in various little scrubby, pine tree areas.
So are you
They're
asking if
living
we-
outside.
If we have like a street outreach ministry or group that goes to meet the needs of
Right, to
those?
see, because if, somebody's approached properly, they might, and most of them, I understand, have drug problems or alcohol problems. So that would be a fairly suitable population for your
Right.
services.
Well, I know one of the things we do, we try to reach out to the agencies that focuses and serves the homeless, like Salvation Army, Dr. Elementary, but we don't have, per se, go out to where they're at and try to service them. We just don't have that ability.
I'd say one thing that we're doing is going to all the people that we can let know about our services, and then you all, when you encounter somebody that you know might benefit, you pass along that information about ADAC, or you pass it along to someone else who might have a contact with somebody that lives in the woods. Yeah, just like any of the agencies here, do they all have people that go out into the woods and tell them about their services? We don't have that, but we try to educate as many people as we can about what ADAC can offer, and then hope that the message gets out to the people that need it worst.
I really want to take this as an opportunity to thank you for bringing that up, because it's from meetings like this that we hear from the community about what's needed. So,
Another thing, I know that today happens to be the day for a homeless count, and DEPCOG is responsible for the homeless count in Angelina County. So if you have particular concerns about the homeless, and maybe DEPCOG would have some information that they would be able to share after they do their count. They have ways of going out and finding people that don't want to be found.
In other words, your program does not actively recruit the homeless population, is what you're saying. If they're not coming through another service.
Right.
no. That's a need. It might be something in the future we could talk about, especially now that you brought it up. So thank you. Are there any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I'm the community engagement specialist with CPS in Region 5, and I was wondering if you had any data showing the correlation between the clients you serve and child abuse in class.
That's something that Pam and I were riding down the street talking about yesterday. That's a necessity in the upcoming RNA. It's something that we want to discuss with our superiors to see if we can include, because there is a direct correlation. And
we're referring clients to weekly.
Right. And I used to work for CPS, and I know that a lot of times when there's abuse, there's substance, there's an issue there.
One of the things we do for CPS clients is that at our main office in Lufkin, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, those are days dedicated for CPS clients only. We take in, we don't make appointments, we tell them to come on in on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 to 5, and we'll screen as many as we can get and help them. So,
So, something that we want to make sure that you guys are aware of, or rewind. Are there any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Do you all work with CASA?
Well, we do have some people who work with CASA. We have a couple foster parents who work closely with CASA who work. I'm a CASA advocate, but I don't think over ADAS we're directly tied in with CASA.
Okay, I'm a CASA advocate.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
Good. So,
Have you guys also seen, any correlation between the mental health, y'all may have already talked about, the people, from mental health and, the drug abuse? Because we have a lot of folks that are on drugs that show this behavior, and then when you send them somewhere, then they're just drying out, and they don't really have a mental health problem, it's a substance
right.
issue.
Well, again, I'm not sure I'm the best person for that, but looks like Chris has something to say.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a high correlation with the mental health population having a substance abuse problem. We have two counselors who are embedded with the Burke Center to do nothing but alcohol and drug abuse screening for those that are in their caseload. And we're the liaisons between mental health and substance abuse, and they stay with that individual all the way through, try to get them referred to treatment and stay in that continuum of care.
Also, this is a concern that a lot of communities have is being able to bring those issues out into the public and be able to talk about it. A lot of people don't want to talk about their mental health issues. They don't want to talk about substance abuse issues. And there are community conversations that are set up, actually funded by the state, but Nacogdoches County had one not so many months ago, and there's one coming up in Center. I don't know if anybody would like to do a little travel to see what it's like, and maybe we could bring it to this county. But it's a community conversation that's set up. Do you have information about it?
Well, yeah, and because I was gonna announce it later.
Okay.
But I'm from Shelby County, so I'm gonna attend the one on January the 30th. But I contacted the lady that was in charge of this, and I was wanting her to bring it here. She said it's already been here.
Oh.
So I called
wow.
her and got the data, so if there's anybody that is wanting, she sent me the results of that, and then I do have that for anybody that is wanting a copy of it. So it's a community conversation for Angelina County.
So if any of you serve either Shelby County or San Augustine County, this community conversation that's coming up on the 30th, which is next Monday, is at 6 o'clock in Center at the Honeywood Center. It's kind of confusing. It's in Center. Yeah. And so that would be a great thing for you as providers in outlying counties to know about how that connection between substance abuse and mental health, and just getting the conversation started in the communities and getting the information out, getting people willing to share.
So, Pam, I just want to say, I went to the community conversation in Nacogdoches, and I felt that there were a lot of our social work students were there, and then parents were there, people who've experienced substance abuse, but there were not a lot of people who experienced substance abuse or who were parents of youth with substance abuse. And I think they are really the people who we want to include in the conversation. So I hope with the community conversations, I don't know who is in charge of that, but they will make sure that people who have the experience of this are really at those conversations. Who are the people that is putting on the community conversations, Chris? Do you know?
I don't have my information with me. It's a state-funded.
Yeah, it's a state-funded thing, and the lady that is doing it was Emily Baker, and she was the vice president of outreach, so it's in Austin. But I do have contact information for her.
So, and I think we should give them that feedback. I am 100% sure that their target is to get people who have experience there, but because of the stigma, it's so difficult to get them involved, and so more service providers are involved.
Okay. And I have the copy here for Angelina. I'm gonna give this to Kelly, so if anybody is wanting a copy, then contact her after the meeting.
So again, thank you. when I get really excited about something, I say it 3 times. I said 3, but I put up 2 fingers on this hand. Wrong day. Anywho, I said things 3 times. So thank you for letting us come out and talk to you guys today. We got a table over here, and at the end of it, we don't mind if that table's completely naked. Okay, so take all of that information off the table, take it with you into the community, get what you need, please do. And again, thank you guys for letting me talk. I'm
One
sorry.
quick thing.
Yes, sir.
Do you guys work with Kimberly Russell at all? She's Open Action. I know her, she did a presentation here probably early last month, and I know her and Mr. Rodriguez with Alpha. Is she here? She's right back there. Okay, there you are. But she does work with homeless folks, and I think that would be great for you guys. And that's what's wonderful about this partnership is that we find ways to connect and share information.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna get with you, Ms. Kimberly. We're gonna be eye to eye.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
I have a question. Do you have all of this information as well in Spanish?
We have a lot of it
In Spanish? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Could I maybe get that from you sometime too?
Okay, I'll come and drop some off today.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
We also have that document, the regional needs assessment, that if you would like to email me, Pam Gilchrist, my card's in the front there. I can send it to you electronically, either PDF or Word. Word is kind of handy, but PDF isn't bad either, but you can copy or paste into a document, a quote that you might want to use, or a chart that you think would be useful in a grant application, or whatever you need, so that you don't have to try to retype or reinvent the wheel when you're trying to use our information.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. All right, thank you. That was great information. We want to make sure that we have a naked table over here by the end of this session. And ADAC also has to account for the information that they passed out today. So I am asking if it's okay with the sign-in sheet, if we can just get a copy. We won't send your phone number or your email, but if we could just give the name, make a copy of the name. Is there anybody that would object to us giving the name? Raise your hand. Okay, is that okay? We won't do phone numbers or anything, but we will give them names so that they can have that information. Okay, all righty. Robert, is there anything that you have coming up from the city and from also for
I don't think from the city, but from the community. February the 13th, we have our next community talk. And this is gonna be a very important community talk that we're gonna be having, because a lot of information is gonna be put out. And it's gonna bring us up to our current situation that we're in now. And so we asking everyone to come out. We're gonna have door prizes, you know. Everybody be trying to win door prizes and different things like that, but we're gonna come and have a good time. But we asking everyone to come out and get involved. We'll have flyers that'll be going out next week.
Where can you be at?
At Brandon Community Park. Yes.
Brandon Community Park at 6:30.
Yes.
And you guys make sure and come on out, because Robert have wonderful door prizes. The only thing is he try to win his own door prize. So y'all come out. Come out so we can disperse those door prizes. Temple Foundation is Laura. Emily, you want to talk? Yeah, do we want to even announce the event for February?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So, I'm working on creating some flyers right now, but on February the 27th at 6 o'clock, right here in this room, we're going to have our next Spanish event. We're going to do it to where we're going to start doing them monthly. This Spanish event, we're going to have Ole Gardio from the Stephen F. Austin State University Garrett program come and do a presentation in Spanish for the Spanish community members. And also we'll be collecting some data, so we'll be hosted kind of like a research cafe in the end of it as well. So February 27th, 6 o'clock. And those of you in our Spanish class, this is a great opportunity to come out and hear Spanish, apart from just the Tuesdays at 6 o'clock when we do Spanish class.
Gracias.
De nada.
Joe, do you have any?
No, ma'am.
Okay, everybody is aware that Joe has a newspaper, El Capaso. It's called the Hey Paso. El Capaso. All right, I am getting confused, but it is a newspaper. And if you want articles in the newspaper, let him know like about a week or two ahead of time. And it is a bilingual newspaper, so it will get out in English and in Spanish. Okay, now I want to call up Dr. Ali Font to come forth, and Dr. Y'all give her a warm round of welcome applause. We're glad to have her back.
Thank you, Mr. Nola. I want to say it is wonderful to be back. I want to tell you a story. So I leave here in, what was it? When was I leaving?
December the 12th.
And I go back home. And I go through the customs, and the customs officer looks at my passport and everything, and he says, welcome back. And so I tear up and I'm home. I get very emotional. So I come back this side, and the custom officer's this side. Officer looks at my passport and looks at everything, and he talks to me and he says, welcome back. Welcome back home. Both of them said, welcome back home. And I'm thinking, home, and I teared up a lot also. And so I'm thinking exactly what you said, you know, home is where we are, and home is where we are comfortable. And this is home to me also. So thank you very much for all of you. I hope that this will be a wonderful year. We have a lot of work to do on the appreciative inquiry. We are really going to get out there and be involved in many things. We have asked you to, at one of the last meetings, to complete a form with information that we want. It is just a form. You are at different agencies, and I would like to look at what you want us to ask in our survey. The survey is 99% done. But if you want to include maybe some questions, I will look at that. So I'm going to ask if you can please complete that and give that back to Ms. Manola. Within the next 2 weeks, I'm going to get the survey out, and I'm going to ask all of you to help me with this. I would like to have 1,000 surveys back, completed surveys within the first 2 weeks. It's a big push, but if all of us do that, we can get 1,000 surveys back, and that will be a good number within the first 2 weeks. In March sometime, we will have a big conversation cafe, a big event, where we will give some feedback on the surveys, but we'll also talk about all the focus groups and conversation cafes and everything we had. Ms. Cynthia has a suggestion box, and we are getting more and more suggestions. There is a little card that says Happy New Year. In South Africa, we say Happy New Year until the end of January, and then we get ready for the next year. So Happy New Year to everyone. But please complete this. I have really received a lot of these, and it is really very helpful. So please help us with these surveys to just, if you have anything that you want us to include in the survey. I cannot promise that we will do that, but in some way I'll try to address that. Any questions about the appreciative inquiry at the moment? Well, thank you very much for everything you do to help us to really listen to the community. Thank you. Thanks, Mr.
You can raise your hand if you have not completed one of these, and then the interns will just write immediately.
Is there somebody that's going to hold
That can
the
help.
call?
Okay.
I was gonna, this is not an ADAC announcement, but in the newspaper, they announced a meeting about drugs in South Angelina County. So I know it's not North Lufkin, but it is close, and a lot of the same problems that happen in the south part of our county happen in the north part of our city. So this meeting is in Zavala at February 9th. I think it's at 6 or 6:30, I'm not sure. It was in the paper just recently. Meeting in the school cafeteria, and they're going to talk about drug problems in the area and, came about, you know, from arrests that were happening in what they call the compound. And so, anybody's invited, you don't have to be from Zavala or that area, you are invited to go.
Okay. Is there any other announcement from organizations and agencies? Okay.
Okay, you know, February is considered Black History Month, and, there will be a Soul to Soul workshop at, Lufkin High School on the 9th. I think it starts at 6. And then, the, NAC Back to School, Stay in School banquet is gonna be on the 18th, and the tickets are $30. And Esther and myself have tickets for that. And the, Black History program, sponsored by Europe, which Texas College will be at Long's Chapel. That's on the 21st at 7 o'clock, and we'd like for everybody to.
And that's which chapel?
Long's Chapel.
Long, L-O-N-G?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
On Mining Street, and that's gonna be at 7 o'clock. The banquet on the 18th is gonna be at the Civic Center, and it starts at 6:30. And the Soul to Soul is gonna be at Lufkin High School in the auditorium.
At 6. Okay. All right.
And one more thing that, Mr. Rogers said, I do have applications there. We have so many organizations in here. Until you would like to, put an ad in our, scholarship, booklet. And if you would, I do have some forms that, I'm signed, we'd be glad to recognize you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Kim?
February the 11th, I'd like to remind everybody that at the Rock House from 1 to 3 p.m., we'll be holding a silent auction to raise funds to continue outreach work here in Angelina County. And we're also going to be launching Hope in Action, which is finding solutions and developing working things or working programs to combat with the homelessness, deal with hunger, which in some cases that's kind of a problem around here. A lot of food banks are getting hit, but you know, we need to keep the community growing. It's also going to bring awareness to some other issues that are happening in Angelina County. It's going to be an opportunity to tie outreaches, businesses, and community together. So I would like to invite any of you out there. You're more than welcome to join us.
I just wanted to say that on March 11th, CPS has the prom project for our foster children in Region 5, so all the way from the Beaumont area up through the northern part of the region. And at this event, for our male foster children, we provide free haircuts. We have a tux rental place that provides a jacket for them. They get to go out to eat at a nice restaurant, and then the Jefferson County Corvette Club actually drives them from Beaumont to prom. And then for our ladies, we collect prom dresses. Right now we have I would say over 500, and of course with all of our girls, they still won't be happy, so we are accepting prom dress donations from 0 all the way up to the upper 80. And for the girls, they come in, they pick out their dress, we do alterations, we do hair, we do makeup. They are done up to the nines, everything. They get to take their shoes, dresses, and jewelry home with them to use at their high school prom. So, if anybody would like to donate to this event or, help us put on the prom, just contact me and we can go from there. Thank you.
I know we're throwing out a lot of dates for y'all to remember. Next Thursday, we have 2015 Grammy Award winner Mike Ferris, who's going to be coming to the Pine Theater to do a solo acoustic show for us. All proceeds coming from that benefit concert will benefit the recovery services for ADAC. So you can purchase tickets online. You can look up the Pine Theater and you'll be able to purchase your ticket.
Is that February 2nd?
February 2nd, yes.
All right.
What time did I say? February 2. What time does it start?
7 o'clock.
7?
Yeah.
7.
The information's on ADA's website and on ADA's Facebook page.
We have one more thing. This is Andrea, my coworker. I'm Alejandra. We're both healthcare navigators for the Burke Center, and we're helping people who are currently uninsured see if they qualify for financial assistance to get lower priced insurance. After January the 31st, which is when the marketplace closed, we'll be helping them with getting exemptions if they were not insured in 2016, so they don't have to pay the tax penalty. In addition to that, once the marketplace closes, if they get married, their household size or income changes, if they divorce, move, that will qualify them for a special enrollment period. So we'll be here year-round helping people who are uninsured just find resources.
Okay.
Okay, and I think, is it okay if I pass these out?
Alrighty, anybody else? Oh, no, anyone else? Okay, Ms. Rita, will you just give us a little update? Probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were here at one of the meetings, and Ms. Rita came to me and talked about an idea that she had about reaching out to our residents who are alone in their homes and someone calling and talking to them. So let's just hear from her for a minute.
Okay, this started with several of us just standing around talking. And what we came up with was a list of how do we accomplish what we called a wellness call list. And it's the people, some do not have cannot leave their homes without specialized help. Some of them are just, stuck in their homes. And coming up with a plan to have volunteers call so many senior citizens during the day, sometime during the day, and check on them to see if everything's all right and talk to them a little bit. Because loneliness, if you live by yourself, sometimes is really a downer. So we're going to have a little meeting after this is over with, and if anybody would like to add something, and it's just the fact that there's a lot to consider, and this is not something that you can just jump off into, because you've got safety concerns, you've got liability concerns, and you've got how do you handle this? What source is, where's the spot where everybody meets? Whether it's the client who wants to receive service or the volunteer who's wanting to do this. And also decide, is it just Lufkin or is it countywide? And I had a thought a while ago, which would, if perhaps we should work through the churches to see if they have people who would be willing to call, and also have patients that they know need a call every day. And do we do it every day, or just every other day? And so if, in other words, just the basic, how does this work, and how are we going to formulate it to get it to work? As with all ideas that come around when you're just standing around talking, this may or may not work, but really and truly, in my opinion, there's a need in the community for this, because a lot of the elderly still live at home. They're not in a nursing home or some type of assisted living.
Oh, thank you very much. And Ms. Rita will make sure that every T and I is crossed. So, yes, ma'am.
Listen, Lola, can I just say something? I'm just very happy that Ms. Rita brought that to our attention, because this is exactly what has to happen. We say there's a need, and then the community comes up with how are we going to get a solution back to the community. And that and another example of the Spanish classes, that's exactly, and we will see more and more of this happening now as we are seeing the needs in the community. So that is an excellent example of what should happen.
May I say, I have thoroughly enjoyed coming to these meetings and meeting other people in the community and learning what is available. And also, hey, there's a lot available in this community.
Thank you, Ms.
But you may not know.
That's right. Well, thank you very much. I wanted to just let you all know too that yesterday, it was just my honor to attend a groundbreaking ceremony in St. Augustine. About 5 years ago, there was a partnership between the School of Social Work, the Temple Foundation, and the community of St. Augustine County, and it's sort of a project like we're doing now. And yesterday was like the beginning of that project. They actually broke ground. They had the little graders out there in the frame and all of that sort of stuff going on. But it really shows you how community is empowered and how things can happen. So I want to make sure and let North Lufkin, this Ward 1s and 2 know that this is going to happen, okay? This is just not a plaything. This is going to happen. So I was really thrilled about that. I want to make sure and remind everyone that we do have WIC services here on the second Wednesday of every month from 1 to 5. And then every Thursday, the Health District is here. ADAC is here on Fridays from 8 to 12. And every Wednesday from 1 to 5, Workforce Solutions is here at the office. I wanted to introduce, before we leave, some of our interns. We have just a house full of interns this semester, and I'm just thrilled to death. We have 4 interns from Angelina College, and then we're gonna have maybe 4 or 5 from Stephen F. Austin. So they all hadn't made it yet, but I would like for the ones that are here to please stand. And stand with you. So they are gonna be busy helping us. Thank you very much with the appreciative inquiry process, and we are thrilled to have them. I want to make just a few announcements. The Neighborhood Center Committee will be meeting today after this particular meeting. And then we have the Citizens Police Academy, that will be January the 31st. We have Maintaining the Knowledge. We'll be having a meeting February the 25th at Brandon Park. Ms. Kimberly told you about the silent auction on February the 11th. February the 10th, what's the guy's name, the artist that was talking about his son and Mr. Dwight Gibson. His son will have a boxing match, heavyweight, in Lake Charles on February the 10th. There will be a teen summit on March the 25th from 8 to 2. Let's see, we are having grant writing next week on January the 31st from 10 to 12. And I wanted to make sure those who are coming, make sure and bring a project in mind. Even if it's something that you dreamed of and it's fictitious right now, but bring a project and then bring any associated cost to your project. You just have to sit and brainstorm everything that you think you would need for that project to be successful. And then brainstorm about all of the potential partners that you could have. No one wants to see you working in silos anymore. We want to see partnerships, so please bring those things and bring a laptop, okay, if you have that. And that's the grant writing next week. Also, on May the 13th, we're going to have an adult vision screening here. The Lions Club will be conducting that. That's a service that they provide to the community. And they haven't had an opportunity. They said it has been very, very low turnout. So we want to get the word out. It'll be May the 13th from 9 to 1, and you can have an adult free vision screening, and it will be held here. All righty? I think that is it for me.
Ms. Anola,
Yes, ma'am.
You want to make the announcement about we're going out to the schools for the surveys?
Okay, yeah, currently we are going out to all of the schools, the elementary schools, to conduct interviews with the teachers, and they have been really, really great thus far. We go out and we stay there throughout the day, and we get all of the teachers when they come through on their conference period. And so we provide surveys for them and get the information from them. So that's been a really great experience for us. Okay. Is there anything else? Yes, sir.
Just a reminder about Tuesdays that we have the Spanish class and English class with Emily and myself. And we're so grateful that we have a lot of people coming and we need to learn. And we're here to help anybody. It can be students, it can be young, you know, everybody, from 10 to 90 years old. So everybody's welcome. Every Tuesday, 6 to 8.
And they are free.
Yeah, they are free classes. The grant training is free classes also. So we want to make sure that we're bringing some services to the residents, services that normally would cost a lot of money, and these services are at no charge. So we want to make sure you all take advantage of everything that we have. Mr. Rodriguez, we have been walking advertisement for the Spanish class. Some of it hadn't been quite on target, but yeah, we're walking advertisement for you. And we appreciate Mr. Rodriguez and Emily for coming on their own time and providing us with that service. That's what community is all about. Yeah. That is what family is all about. And so I'm loving it. We're thanking Miss Maria also. She is there. And honey, she is on us. Boy, she tell us when our pronunciations are not right and stuff, so she keep us focused. So we appreciate everyone. Go back, tell someone about us. I want to say also, I want to thank our friend, Mr. Mark. Also, this particular meeting is live streamed. Is that the word? It's being live streamed. And he also live streamed our Spanish class. And he's just a good person. And we just love him already. He's part of the family. All right. So if there's no other questions or comments, we want to get you back out to do the work that somebody's paying you to do. And we'll see you next week. Thank you.